fertilizer spreader. You can see it's spitting out the bag. Well, I imagine that guy boogies down the road pretty good. Good speed. Nice. So this monument right here, the top half of people that died in the war. There's a lot of names. That's just from this village. This village?
Yes.
And, oh, I'm zoomed in too far. And the bottom are all the workers from this village. So they would have died at later dates, not during the war. I don't know if I can see any dates. No. But anyway, the top portion here is between 1941 and 1945. That's quite a sacrifice. So he was just saying that part of this park is dedicated to those that fought in the Patriotic War. There's always another side to everything that people don't think about, is the ones that are left behind. Obviously, when there's a big war going on, there's going to be a shortage of manpower, so everybody at home also kicks in extra and works harder. And so part of this is dedicated to those on the home front that worked in agriculture or production back at home, while the others were off fighting in the war. So I think that's very honorable, because I've never in my life seen a memorial dedicated to those that were still at home. We have lots of memorials in Canada, but they're always for the soldiers that fought, and often we forget about the ones at home. On the far end here, there's a plane, he said, that fought in Vietnam, and it was sent to the Gorky plant for reparations. But they decided it was old and outdated, no point in repairing it, and they sent it here as an exhibit, part of the museum. So, pretty cool to have that piece of history here as well. And then the truck, I'm not exactly sure, but part of this exhibit. Very nice to see these, and it's still kept up and honored. Very important. Look at that old plow here. So this is a museum we're checking out now as part of our little tour. No idea what that is, but old equipment. Anneesa and I've always loved. Look at these old shoes. We have always been a big fan of old stuff. Oh yeah, there's another plow. Whoops. Horse drawn. Very cool. Okay, so part of this trip here, we are now in a little museum here where they're working on fixing ups for local area. Well, that sure changes the look on it when you close the door. And so I'm not sure what to expect, but we're going to check this out. It's very local to this town, and they're collecting older artifacts. The museum is 3 years old. It began to be created after Tatiana and a group of children from this village went to the excavations where the battles took place in 1942. 1941, during the Great Patriotic War, when they found a lot of exhibits related to that war. They decided that it was necessary to create a museum. Gradually it began to create one room dedicated to that war, and then the idea was born more broadly. We decided we still need to bring old items that were in this village were still kept by locals. The residents began to give away little by little. Tatiana and all the work she collects in the museum little by little here. For the military, the topic is already expanded on the topic of the history of the village. Okay, yep. Money? Kopex?
Is there any Kopex?
I'm not sure. Old furniture. Mortar and pestle for grinding. There's an old tree stump, isn't it? No, it's not. It looks kind of like it.
There's Kopex, bro.
Is there?
So
there you go. Pretty cool, eh? Old bills too. Super important to keep history, I think. Icons. So recreation of a stove. This one's just made of wood, but the idea. So this room is dedicated to what it looked like in village life. Oh, this is for butter.
That's 100 years old.
Wow. Nah. It's pretty good shape for 100 years old. There's a butter churn. Making butter. I've wanted to build one of these. You hold this carefully. You're very careful. I've wanted to build exactly one of these for making butter. Super simple.
How do you clean it out?
Neat. Water, hot water.
Это тоже маслобойка. Туда масло и вот так тоже. И вот так вот сбивали масло. Тоже.
Масло.
Масло. И
Oh,
это
yeah.
тоже так, это все маслобойки. И это тоже.
Okay. So those are all for making butter.
Это тоже.
Also for butter. Butter.
Тоже
Масло.
сюда это сбивали.
Oh, yes. Interesting. Very interesting.
Ну это стирать.
Multiple ways of doing it.
Это белье стирать.
Alright, so this room is dedicated to village life, what it would have been like, kind of try to recreate it in this museum. Lots of pictures, photos, obviously a spinning wheel. This baby bed we thought was pretty cool. An adult version would be nice, hanging off the ceiling. A lot of the beds back in the day folded up. This one does not, but very simple designs here as well. Very nice. I love history, absolutely love it. Let's see what the rest of this has to hold. This was an unplanned, well, it was a planned visit, but I wasn't planning a video on it, so I guess we're going to do 4 videos today. They're all going to be seen on different days, though.
Yeah.
Where are we going? This way?
I don't know if I'm
Нет комнаты, там запас.
Нет? This way? That way. Pieces of metal.
Follow the gun.
Oh, this is a shell.
Это,
Boom.
стоп. Это гильза с места боев, называется Курская битва. Это гильза от снаряда. Когда мы их учили.
Ага, вот у нас получается наш солдат.
So this is a depiction of a real life battle scene in what I would class as hell on earth. The stuff these guys went through. So we have pieces of tanks here, artillery shells blown up. That's the shell too. Oh no, that's no, sorry. That would be the muzzle of a tank, I would think. Gun. So you can see these shells laying here, and so one we just looked at is just riddled full of holes behind Cora there. The one we were looking at, and so he was saying, can you imagine the intensity of the fire when even the shell casings got ripped apart like that? Okay, because they would have been laying on the battlefield here, and there would have been such a rain of fire raining down that that shell actually has that much holes and shrapnel in it.
Все, что вы здесь видите.
Alright, an old gun, machine gun, shovels, hand grenades. So this is a hand grenade, guys. They pull the pin and throw it.
And this one, these ones didn't blow up?
Yeah, then they go kaboom. Yeah.
They're steel? How to throw fire. They're steel? How do they blow up?
Well, they crack, probably blow up on the cracks. They're full of explosive. It just chunks of metal would go flying everywhere, right? The idea is to kill everything. Yeah.
How did they...
Little pieces everywhere. Oh, nails maybe. Yeah. Helmets. He was just saying here. Whoops.
So how did they...
Where'd that come from? German helmet, bullet hole in it. Boots.
I know how long this guy is.
Yeah, it's made one thing at a time. So much to look at. Oh yeah, well now this is the knife, eh? The gun ends here. This is a bayonet on the end. They would fix bayonets and then attack. Another chunk of a machine gun. It's like the old Tommy guns. So there was a clip in here and they'll go around. It's like an early machine gun.
Papa, which one's which, you know?
Which one's which? Ah, okay, so they built this where this would be something like what the soldiers lived in during the war. And then we got patriotic poster. I think the air, what do you call them, pilots and stuff.
So what is this room for?
Like a wartime bunker.
Это очередной подарок для вас в честь Пасхи. Татьяна хочет.
A straw-filled mattress. Comfortable little hut. One guy sleep here, one guy sleep here. So a fairly typical hideout. So they would have had these built in the trenches, my guess, and places to sleep at night. Probably more for officers. I think the regular guys would have had harsher conditions.
That big?
Лопатой копать. Очень аккуратно, потому что там на месте может попасться даже не разорвавшийся снаряд, поэтому они проходят строгий инструктаж, как это делать. И вот поисковому отряду, который возглавляет Татьяна, вместе с детьми, им повезло, они нашли одного погибшего солдата, который считался пропавшим без вести, не знали, где он погиб. Они нашли медальон и останки этого солдата, и в этом медальоне была надпись, где он родился, как его звали, и благодаря этому...
Okay, so that probe there is saying, with the help of this probe, they carefully examine the ground. If they stumble upon something hard, then there is something lying there or exhibits this. Maybe these are the bones of a dead soldier. Then they begin to dig with a shovel. Very careful, because they can be even unexploded shells on the spot. So they are strictly instructed how to do it, and so the search party, which is headed by Tatiana, together with the children, they were lucky. They did not find one dead soldier who was considered missing. They didn't know where he died. They found the medallions, the remains of this soldier. Oh, they did find a soldier. And in this medallion there was an inscription where he was born, what was his name, and thanks to this the soldier was buried and reburied in his homeland. Wow. So that's probably, this is depicting this, guys. The... Alright, some more stuff here. So they dedicate a lot of time and effort to fighting this. The Patriotic War, of course, was a big deal. Estimates as high as 26 million
Where was the war?
members from the USSR passed away, died in this war. So and these are all servicemen from this particular village, this area, that gave their lives. And I think it's very important to remember the sacrifice that was made by these people.
И на запад, в сторону Европы. До нашей Нижегородской области бои не дошли. Здесь в его память, здесь решено ему посвятить отдельную вот эту комнату истории его жизни.
The Hero of Russia Award?
Это высшая награда Советского Союза, Герой Советского Союза. Сейчас есть в России подобная награда, называется Герой России.
This is the highest award of the Soviet Union. Hero of the Soviet Union now exists in Russia. Similar awards are called Hero of Russia. No?
Hero Soviet Union and Hero... Где Россия?
Нет, тут Герой Советского.
Это Советского Союза.
No, there. Okay. That is the award.
Pilot.
That's him?
Pilot, yeah?
Yep.
Pilot. Малов. Hero Soviet Union.
There you go. They dedicated this room
Was born this.
in this village.
He won 3 awards.
He lived from 1914 to 1943. That is way too short. He was a young man. A very young man. Wow. A lot of history.
He was how old? 49?
That's from him. No? You take and read it later. Old weigh scale.
Нет, просто посмотреть не нужно. Нет,
Another battle scene here again. Oh no. Just unfathomable, just the damage and the carnage. I think this is the same scene as in the other wall. Depicting the full scale of it all. Look at your planes, all of it in there.
We're gonna be tanks, we'll go either way.
More artifacts coming. More photos of the past. This is old school. This is how they used to store hay, you guys. See that pile? That's how they used to. Once upon a time.
Pencil.
Pencil.
This
Pictures of this. Oh, the church. Да.
photo церковь.
Photograph, yeah.
Yes.
Pictures. Yeah. What do you say? Oh, I don't think I had it on. Anyway, I love these churches, is what I was saying. Wonderful. All right, so this is really cool because I think it's very, very important to preserve our history. A lot of places in the West right now, they're busy destroying history, tearing down statues because somebody deems them to be offensive. And I think it's very important to hang on to our past, recognize it, embrace it, learn from it, grow from it. Especially young people seem so disconnected from the past. So places like this are of utmost importance to preserve these things, especially as the older generations pass away and the stuff is forgotten. Very, very important to just have museums like this. It's good to put money in that. If you have the opportunity to donate to something like that, absolutely do, and future generations can enjoy it. This gentleman also has a little collection going of old tanks and stuff. This is not something you get to see every day, right? Remember, this one drives still. I have to use my phone for translating as well, but this one still drives. They use it in the parade every year. And he's letting Wes go in. Yeah, you gotta film in there. Alright, so this is not from World War II. This is 1960s, 1970s. It's much more modern, he said. And they still use a similar model today. If I understand correctly. Old tractors.
Отец, фотографируй его.
Get you looking. There, he's ready to go. Again, I hope you enjoyed that video, short one there. If you more comments, drop them down below. Maybe your families were in the Patriotic War on one side or the other. I realize in the West we don't call it the Patriotic War, but whatever you call it, drop your stories down below. It's always nice to share this time, any time of the year, I guess, in the experiences. If you have a museum or something that you'd like us to check out, same thing, drop your comments down below or email us, and we'll be glad to come check it out. So hope you enjoyed this video. God bless you. I'll catch you in another one.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so